Hey guys, today we're going to be working in the dark because once daylight savings hits for the year, it really doesn't tend to save your daylight. It actually kind of takes it all away. So, anyway, what we're going to be trying to do today is here I got my three wedges that I never managed to get a video on because I lost my filming phone and then kind of just gave up after that. But anyway, what I'm going to be trying to do today is mainly work on this here, which is probably the most Frankenstein out of all of these. It's an Indy 400 with an XLT hood, got extra 10 swap skid, but no extra 10 front suspension. You got a newer Indy Trail seat on it that's kind of bolted through, overhangs a little bit, held on by a old dog leash riveted onto the side there, but she runs good. Anyway, kind of the issue I got with this one right now is you can't really see that speedo. It was really foggy. I tried polishing it up. Actually got it to polish out pretty nice with a headlight polishing kit, but then you can't really get the stupid thing to, you know, can't really get all the water and shit out of it, which was kind of the issue to begin with. So what I would kind of like to do is I got a set of these here, what do you call them, Evo chassis gauges, which are, considerably bigger than these wedge gauges, but I wonder if there isn't a way I can kind of shoehorn it in there and yeah, use that, because then I can also, the other advantage to this is that's the only other wedge two pulse tack I have, and if I put a Evo style 2 pulse, and I can use that wedge 2 pulse tack on that there Indy 440 Sport. So yeah, not really gonna do any work on this old trail here. Actually, now that I think about it, I may change out the clutch, because if I remember correctly, these Indy Trail clutches, looking at this one, I engaged at about $3,000, and I think I got an Indy 500 clutch that might be a bit snappier, which would be kind of nice. But yeah, anyway, so I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this. My first thought was to just cut the section out of the Evolve chassis hood and then just kind of bolt it onto the base of that hood, and it looks like we would actually have plenty of room to do that. So that's gonna be my first thought. Basically, it looks like we don't even, based on how these Evolve gauges work, they've got temperature and which is really the only light I particularly need on this thing. I mean, I suppose I could also hook up the high beam indicator, but yeah, it looks like that's got it right on the gauge. We don't got to worry about all that center shit. That is even if the freaking temp gauge works on this stupid on this beat up Indy 400. So yeah, I've got the original hood off of this, and I've got a couple of Evo hoods sitting over there that I'm gonna mock up, or I'll use as mock-ups. So yeah, that's gonna be our first order of business. Okay, so I think this might be our way of accomplishing using this. Is just looks like these gauges just kind of fit right in there like that. I'm not sure if it's worth it to even try and get this to work, but it looks like if we just remove that dash thing altogether, it might be possible just to use the ring and then just catch it on the lip back there and just have it like that. And I mean, it really shouldn't matter if you get some snow packed up in there. Not how I see it anyway. Yeah, that might be the way to do it. I don't know. I'm even looking at this, I don't even necessarily think it'd be possible to really get that whole beauty ring around there. So yeah, we'll see about doing it this way. Now, if you guys are worried about that odometer being off, it's already off anyway, because when I got it, somebody had to remove the little section of a cable down in there, because I assumed their bearing had gone bad, and then it wound up breaking that and busting it off inside the shaft. Now the speedometer works at this point because I just cut a piece of that little section of cable shorter and stuffed it in there anyway, so it definitely works. You just can't fucking see it. But anyway, that's at about 6,000 miles. This speedometer we're going to use is at about $5,000, but the motor is at, which is actually really the only wear part that's left on that thing, because I had to replace the track, I replaced the suspension, I guess maybe the sprockets, but yeah, that's about the only part that's even going to be that really matters at that point. And yeah, who knows how many miles that motor has on it, but it definitely runs good. So yeah, I think that's gonna be our way of doing it, just seeing if I can bolt the get the speedometer right in on that, just basically hold them in there with that back, with I don't know how to explain it, bolt it in just by catching the ring, the retaining ring on that lip right there. That might actually work the best. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll be fancy about it and Gorilla tape up the holes, but yeah, do that. Then the bigger issue is gonna be wiring the fucking thing in, but that ain't necessarily an issue because wiring is easy, just kind of be annoying. So yeah, I think that might be our strategy. So I'm gonna remove these gauges and remove those other ones and see how she goes. All right, I got the dash out and I was just making sure that these speedos are the same, and they do appear to be. So yeah, next thing is I'm probably gonna have to probably get these things, make sure, well, first thing is make sure that they actually mount in there. Then once I figure that out, then I can sit and go over the wiring. Looks like both of these got both of the sides of it have two bulbs to go in for the lights of the gauge, and then I just got to figure out, I think the only two I'm going to be able to hook up in terms of the lights are the high beam indicator and the high beam indicator and overheat light, which is all you really need. So I don't even really need the high beam indicator, but obviously I can hook it up, so I might as well. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, next thing is going to be do a test fit. All right, as you can see, we got them in there. I don't necessarily have anything wired up. I might end up having to take these bolts out and just mount them in there separately, and then have to bolt that dash back in. We'll see, but yeah, basically, looks like everything else is going to be pretty simple. Oh, looks like that just fell out. Whoops. Really should get those hood cables back in so I don't smash that windshield even more than it already has been. But anyway, yeah, looks like this is going to be pretty simple. Probably I'm going to have to take the dash off though. All right, so I got those gauges mounted up in there. I'm probably going to end up having to figure out another way to keep these in here, but just because, I mean, they're pretty solid, but I imagine with some, you know, some bumping around, they'd probably come loose. I mean, if I, yeah, like just like that even comes loose right there. I think I'm gonna have to maybe drill into the side and zip tie these, and probably try and, you know, use a bunch of zip tie work, because these two halves don't really seem to be holding together very well, unsurprisingly. So yeah, and then next I gotta figure out our wiring harness there and convert it and all that shit. It seems like this is actually pretty simple. Gonna be pretty simple because all that tachometer requires is just the simple two yellow and browns, which is, you know, our AC positive negative on these, and then at that point it's just as simple as wiring up our two indicator lights, and that should actually be it. But first things first, I'm gonna probably get some zip ties and make sure these get these to be nice and get in there nice and secure. Right, so this is what I got for the zip tie situation here. Got two sets of zip ties, forcing them to either side. Got one in the center, trying to pull that thing together, and I got two on the sides here doing the same thing. So I think these gauges are in here pretty solid. So I think next will be the wiring for the things. Right, so here's what we got. I just cut off these original connectors. And yeah, so this is the original harness. This is all the wires here. God damn, what's that every time? Basically, okay, so here's what we got for wiring. We got this, all this is the wiring that's already on these gauges. Basically, there's the 4 gauge lights that'll be lit up all the time. Those will be pretty simple. Those are actually already wired onto this harness, so I don't think I'll end up even cutting those. Other than that, we got this black wire here, which is the overheat warning. So then that, I believe, goes to this black and white wire on this harness. I'll have to double check. And then that, the other side of that goes this yellow, which is positive all the time, which is because that's a ground side control system, just for simplicity, I guess. And then we've got this here yellow and red wire that then goes to the high beam indicator, which I believe is on the other gauge, and then one of these I'll have to figure out which one it is, and then yeah, then that obviously goes to ground because that's positive side control. So yeah, I've got soldering iron here, about ready to do all that. This should be fairly simple. Have to see. A lot of these, I imagine, on tack are going to be soldered together. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how this goes. All right, so I think this wiring's done. It's pretty simple. You just, hook everything up the way it should be. And yeah, so all I really had to do was just, hook up, basically just color match everything from the original, and the only colors that didn't even match were this one, but that's all fairly self-explanatory. Anyway, the other thing I'd like to note is that that tack came out of a fan-cooled engine, and it had the temperature overheat thing, bulb in it even, in the bulb holder and all that. I might have put the bulb in just because I didn't realize what it was at the time, and then just wanted to make sure it had all the bulbs. But still, why does it even have the harness for that on a fan cooled? But anyway, yeah, I got all of it wired up. I suppose that's the last thing, is I should make sure the high beam indicator still has its bulb. But yeah, other than that, then we can slap this thing back on and give it a test, and then put the tack in that Sport 440. All right, I got it in there. I think at this point it's time for a test fire. So see if this thing decides to fire up. Oh. Okay, so that tachometer evidently works. Next thing I'm gonna do, it's gonna be hard to do with a camera. Probably not, well, I won't even do it with a camera. I am gonna, well, first of all, let's reset this trip. And then I'm gonna just take it for a quick test ride. No snow on the ground, but just enough to see if the speedo works. And then I'm going to, before I do that, I'm gonna open up the hood and make sure that overheat indicator works, just by taking the wire off and grounding it. And then yeah, so I'm gonna do that, then we can move on to putting the tack into that thing. All right, well, the speedo works. Wasn't able to unplug the wire. Didn't realize it wasn't a connector on the wire for the overheat indicator, so I'll just hope I never have to see that. Anyway, you didn't really see that the odometer moved, but the speedo did work. So I only had it up to about 10 on the grass, just, going back and forth. But anyway, now we got a couple more things to do, actually. I do have over in the field there, in the yard of parts, I've got a parts wedge that still has a good 488 motor in it. So I think that one, it's a 488 with an XLT clutch. I'm gonna have to take that motor out, and then probably end up putting that clutch onto this one, and then putting that motor into storage before winter, and then obviously putting this tachometer into this one, because I want a tachometer. Also, I was curious because I could never freaking tell what the heck that is. I was wondering if it wasn't like an hour gauge or something. Yeah, that's weird. I've never seen that before. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna probably get working on this first, and then work on pulling that motor and stuff tonight. And I think I want to get all these Polarises finally done and over with tonight. So these are the last few things I got to do. I've had put so much work. I've had to put new tracks in these two. God, if only I could. Oh, that was zoomed way too far. Yeah, if only I could put. I had to put new tracks in these two, and these two I swapped to extra 10 skids since their original skids were bad. But then I couldn't. Obviously, the bolt alignment isn't the same, so I figured out on these, if you drill out that rivet and that rivet, they work as perfect mounting points for these extra 10s. So yeah, also I want to see good, at least that one has the thing for replacing the clutch. And yeah, this Sport 440 is probably the best one out of the three. It's got electric start. But yeah, I think the next thing is I got to figure out how to get this little insert out, and then see if there is hopefully a connector in there for the extra bulb, and then the extra bulb it's going to need, and then the what do you call it, the tachometer plug, but I don't think it's gonna have it, but we'll see. So if we look up under there, I don't necessarily see any loose connectors. We might have to do a little bit of soldering on that one. So also, yeah, this is what I'm trying to figure out here. So this has those two, which hook up to that accessory, so that's probably what those are. But then, yeah, I still can't figure out what the heck. No, these two hook up to that, and then these go way down here, under over there. These go right into right over here, up into the accessory switch. So that's weird. So this is a 4-wire accessory switch. I don't exactly understand why, or yeah, but anyway, that's all besides the point. This one also gets kind of sidetracked here. This one's got electric start too, so I'm gonna have to get a battery for that at some point, maybe, or I'll just forget about it and then never have electric start. But anyway, yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to end up making a couple splices in there to get that tachometer to work. So I'm gonna be obviously working on that right now. All right, so I didn't even realize that that isn't even an insert. That is just a spot they didn't cut out on all of the things. So yeah, it looks like I'm just gonna have to use this other cover from, you know, that one that we just took off to get this in there. So yeah, I think that'll end up being easier anyway to get at all of the freaking get out all the wiring from that way anyway. So yeah, I think this will be pretty easy. I just got to run an extension cord out here to get it all soldered. But anyway, yeah, shouldn't be too horribly difficult to get all this done. All right, so I got the gauges out, got the wiring harness out with it. Now I think this little extra thing that was stuck on the front of it, I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I think that is just a little clock somebody had. Yeah, it looks like it. That does look like what that is. Somebody just stuck it on there. Looks like hot glued it on there. Anyway, yeah, looks like. And also those extra 2 wires, those are just for the accessory indicator. So yeah, I'll just have to pop out those indicators right there, put them back in this one, put the gauges in this one, and wire it up, throw it back on. Shouldn't be too difficult. I am just going to take these into the garage and do the wiring there rather than do it out here, because obviously that's a lot simpler and I can do it. So yeah, that'll be next thing to do. All right, so I got this, got both of the gauges in here. I got this, saved this pigtail off the other one for the lights. Yeah, now the next thing I just got to figure out, I got to probably splice these into here and then connect this into this extra connector, which is here, but obviously they're not the same. So that's kind of, yeah, anyway. All right, so now I got this all in here and ready to go. So yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of slack to work with, but we still got heat shrink over it all anyway. Should all be wired up properly and ready to go. So yeah. All right, so I got it all in there. Now let's try and test fire this one and see if everything works. So yeah, everything seems to be working just fine. I know that accessory indicator does almost seem like an aftermarket one. I don't think it was their stock, but anyway, yeah, everything seems to be just fine here. Next we're going to move on to tearing the motor out of that old that parts one, which is actually an XLT that I had ended up it's an XLT that I had ended up, that's where this hood came from, that I had tried to do a 488 swap. Was actually successful, but then I bought this sled and that sled and realized that my belt alignment on that one would never be good. I decided to use the XLT as a part sled because I needed a lot of parts for these two. So yeah, yeah, so we're gonna probably do that, figure out how I'm gonna walk a motor from here all the way over to our parts. So anyway, yeah. Okay, we're getting a bit distracted here, but tonight I need to take that recoil off of this exciter parts parts sled, because I'm selling it. So yeah, that'll be slightly interesting. Looks like it's just 10s that I can hopefully just take out like that. That one too, and then oh, I bet you there's 4 on this one. Yep, and then right down. Yep. Okay. That was simple enough. Anyway, yeah, gotta fund all this crap somehow. So actually, sell all the parts. You know, have a bunch of, you know, what am I trying to say? Obviously, I'm selling shit off these part sleds. I actually bought this sled for like, can't even remember, 150 to 200 bucks. So I think I've already sold a bunch of the plastic pieces for like 100 bucks, and then yeah, this for another 40. I'm really making my money back quick on this. So, well, not quick, it's been long ass time, but it looks like it's probably gonna be one I'm just gonna have to, well, maybe I could slip it through without taking that off. Anyway, yeah, got a little sidetracked here. Get back to the Polarises in a second. All right, so going back to the Polarises here, this is that XLT I swapped a 488 into. It's definitely possible. You gotta use one of the original XLT mounts, then you gotta make this weird C-shaped mount, and then anyway, yeah, it didn't really work just because that other mount that throws the alignment off a little bit. At this point, yeah, it looks like you just gotta well, that looks like, obviously it's just as simple as taking the 4 bolts out, but yeah, anyway, I'm gonna do that and then put this one into storage, you know, obviously. But yeah, that clutch down there, that was the clutch out of the XLT anyway, because this motor is off of that trail right there, and I used the original trail clutching, and that trail was always kind of a freaking dog, and then I got it on this one and it was still a freaking, like, just absolutely just an absolute turd. And then I was like, what the heck? So I put the XLT clutch on it, and this thing got a heck of a lot faster. So I don't know if that being a 97 trail and the other one being an 85, if they have similarly fucking turdy clutching, but I'm gonna assume they do, and replace that clutch with this Polaris clutch right here, or this, not Polaris, this XLT clutch, and then hopefully liven that one up a little bit. Because if I remember correctly, this one would engage at like, these ones would engage at like maybe 4. The other one engages at 3.5. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I don't exactly have any clutch tuning shit either. I just have, you know, maybe 4 of these clutches sitting around. So yeah, I'll have to obviously see if this works any better, but yeah, we'll do a before and after test on, see where it engages at least. Either way though, I want to get this motor out of the open and in the storage shed, in case this is one of my 2 backup 488s for either of those 3 wedge sleds, because I mean, they're a drop-in replacement for any of them. So yeah, I got 2 of these for spares anyway. Yeah, so looks like I just got to get the obviously get the motor mounts off.
10 people died in the Bronx last night due to a fire that killed 10 people in the Bronx last night during a fire.
Fire officials say all 10 people died due to the fire, which was too hot for their bodies.
One disappointing thing is I did end up having to cut one of these little mounting bolts off for the side cover, which is a part of the block for this to make this fit, and then I never ended up using it. But I mean, it doesn't really make it any less strong or valuable in my eyes anyway. So yeah, this was actually a $400 motor out of a freaking Power Sports scrapyard, and I really regret getting that, because, you know, once you get on the marketplace, you can find these for 150 to 200, and this one didn't even come with that side cover, or like the flywheel or stator or anything, and that was so I had to take the one off the old one. And the old one was, I think I have some old videos on this channel of the thing chucking the rod out of the side and it, you know, keeping on running. So anyway, I digress. At this point, I just gotta, looks like the only thing to do is the couple wires there, those 4 mounts, and then that oil line, and she should come right off. And I even got an extra fuel pump there in case I need it. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing right now at least. Okay, well, she's loose. I guess the last thing is I gotta take this stupid, this here recoil handle off. So yeah, do that, then we'll get this fucker off. Next thing is to remove these motor mounts. Yeah, as you can see, that's the weird fucking shape you kind of got to make to adapt a twin cylinder to a 3-cylinder chassis. And unless you're really a lot more precise than me, it doesn't really work too well. I mean, the thing ran and drove fine. I just assume if I would have actually ridden it for any amount of time, it would have, you know, burnt the belt up. Okay, I also took the secondary off that one, which actually originally came from that trail over there as well. But yeah, so I gotta basically move all this. I've got a trick for removing these without a puller. Well, actually, technically using a puller, but I'll show that once I get to removing these clutches. All right, so to remove this clutch, I'm gonna take this here. This is part of a steering wheel puller set, just the center out of it. I've also used the center out of a claw type wheel puller or flywheel puller, steering wheel, well, not steering wheel, but flywheel puller, whatever. Seems to work about, you know, same thing, work about the same. So then basically I'm just gonna use the impact, drive that in there, and it should pull this clutch right off. Do this without spending the, I don't know, probably pretty cheap, probably like 20 bucks these actual pullers are, but this works pretty good too. Whoop. So now it's bottomed out, so it should just basically pop off now. Or not. Be really annoying when this doesn't, but anyway. Yeah, this should work. I have to go hit it with a hammer, but yeah. Yeah, normally this works right away. I'm gonna have to go get a hammer to hit this with, and then freaking shadow. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna hit that with a hammer and see if it works. All right, so finally it came off. Now we just gotta do the same on that one and zip this clutch back on. All right, so at this point I'm gonna do a test fire just to see, or not test, just a test run to see what RPM this one engages at. This one's always been a little bit harder to start because it still had some old gas in the tank by the time I got to it. So yeah, this will probably be a little bit of pulling to get this one running, but yeah, then we'll see what kind of RPM this engages at, then we'll see how that clutch changes it. Oh, can't see anything right now. Anyway, so that was about three and a half grand. So yeah, time to pull that clutch off and see what it does. All right, so this clutch came off without much of a fight. Just like that, the new one's back on. Oh, didn't realize that belt got caught in there. Okay, that's done. Anyway, yeah, new one's back on. So now next we gotta shove this little plug back in there. This one looks like it's a bit of a different style than I'm used to. That might be a bit more difficult to get back in. Anyway, yeah, now we'll just have to do our test and see how this clutch reacts to, you know, being run as opposed to that one. All right, so that was engaging maybe a few hundred RPM higher, maybe. The other one was around 3,500. That was about 4,000. That definitely did seem a bit snappier though. So, yeah, I'm definitely calling that a success. But Jesus, I can taste that bad gas. Another slight tangent here. Why is this mile an hour times 10? Why doesn't it just say 10, 20, 30, 40? What? Why did they have to do times 10? That's just fucking confusing and dumb. So anyway, yeah, I think that'll be about it for this stuff for tonight. That's pretty much the last thing I wanted to do. I'm gonna go put all this put all my stuff away. That's pretty much the last stuff to get all these Polaris's ready to ride this winter. Hopefully we get some damn snow. If not, I might just pick one of these to start water skipping because yeah, that's you know, for 2 years now I've been itching to ride ever since spring 2 years ago, and obviously hasn't been no damn snow to do it with. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's actually one more thing I might do right now is I'm gonna sort out these freaking toolkits, because I don't think we got a really great toolkit. So that's what I might do right now, actually. All right, just looking at all the toolkits. First, we got this Sport 440. Looks like I just got a good set of plugs and a 9/16 and a half inch wrench. This one actually has dual toolkits, just kind of Phillips head screwdriver in one and some plugs, and then this one's the only one that I had. This was actually a plug wrench out of another one that I had, or not a plug wrench, just a spark plug socket, and then a Craftsman ratchet that has a end of an extension welded onto it that I was using for something, and then just threw it in the sled. And then we got this one here, which I don't even know. It's like this one just has literally just an extra set of plugs. So anyway, I've got this old Yamaha kit here, so I might as well just kind of throw these in with all of that extra. Got two things here to manage. Okay, yeah, throw all this. Might as well just kind of scatter all this shit throughout. God, okay. I don't know why these Yamaha kits came with 2 different size spark plug wrenches, or maybe that's just a wrench for other stuff. Huh, looks like this one has a double end wrench of some sort. Got this, oh, looks like that's a freaking one of those. I'm not sure how much of this is just factory Yamaha shit and shit somebody threw in here. I do recognize that this type of style of spark plug wrench is definitely a Yamaha thing, though. I know they did that a lot. Anyway, I think I might as well throw the plug wrench in this one, because this is the nice one. Just kind of, you know, throw that shit in there. I think that should be good for that sled. Otherwise, this one's already got a plug wrench. This is actually the very hard side to get the cover off, so I'm gonna throw all the tools in this side and just keep that shittier set of plugs on the other side. I don't know if these Allen's will ever be useful, but might as well throw them in. I don't know, maybe this one. Yeah. Anyway, might as well throw, this one already has a screwdriver, so might as well throw, maybe that 10mm in there, because you never know when you use that. Whatever size this is, I might as well just throw it in here and throw that in there. Now, in terms of an extra spark, actually, let me see if I have an extra spark plug tool for something to throw in here. Okay, well, I happen to find this Honda clone, Honda GX200 clone spark plug tool, which looks like it fits in just right there. So that'll be it. That looks like we got some nice, got a nice set of nice tool set and all these. Anyway, God, looks like the only thing I might be missing for this one's an extra belt. Got an extra belt for that one. That one came with an extra belt. But anyway, got all of these here clips. Somehow found all of them. And yeah, I think that'll be it for the work on these sleds. I suppose I just gotta, whoa, damn, dropped that. Hope I didn't crack that damn windshield more. Yeah, well, that looks fine. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this windshield. This was normally, the full-size windshield like that one. Then I just happened to, the top of it was all cracked, so I just took an angle grinder, cut it down, then of course you did the old zip tie patch, and then drill a hole to terminate your crack. And yeah, that's how I'm getting more life out of that windshield anyway. Not that I necessarily care about windshields, but I found, at least I've never really ridden a wedge style, because I just happened to get all these this summer. Before, I had that Evo style, and that windshield was absolutely essential for deflecting snow off your face. So yeah, but yeah, that'll be getting down to the end of the work for tonight anyway. Ah yes, the old parts shed. Time to put all this shit back in. Yeah, See, we got two 488s, all the spare odds and ends from all my past failed projects. So yeah, thing I will always wonder about this here Sport 440 is, you know, you got this registration card, which would tend to, you'd tend to assume is a 1999 registration card. However, this says, what the heck? Goddamn. Okay. This says, expires the year 9,999, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume I'm good for the foreseeable future on that registration anyway. Yeah, that's I don't know why that's like that, but I'm just not gonna question it, and if the DNR gives me trouble, I guess they can go suck it. Just topped it off with some of that newer oil, but you know, the oil's great. You know, you can see that little bit bluer hint of the new oil. But you know, this oil is really nice and old when it's got that old, like, brownish, greenish tint. Like that's what really tells you got some of that premium oil, you know? Well, that'll probably conclude this video. Be sure to tune in next time when we're working on this old piece of shit. Yeah, that'll be it for this time. Bye.